Hey, everybody. Welcome to Convertible Conversations. Hope I don't make you dizzy here, but I'm going to move my camera phone here and show you where I'm sitting. This is our dining room table where four of us sit every morning. We always have our breakfast together and have our evening meal together too. That's kind of something that I grew up in my house of origin, and something that we did with our kids and have made it a priority to continue to do. Not that you have to do that, but it's just good for us. And one of the things that we do every morning at breakfast before we all four go our different ways is say, well, what are you going to do today? What's going to happen with you? And my wife and my daughter both teach school, so they talk about different things that they'll be doing. Then my grandson lives with us, and we talk about the different things that he might be doing. And they always ask me what I'm going to be doing. And we all have different things to do each day, just like you do. I want to talk for today and the rest of this week about what we could be doing each day. Now, one of the things that I've learned to do, I don't always do this, but it's good when I do, is to just ask Jesus, what do you want to do today? What do you want to do in me and as me and through me? What do you want to do? And one thing for today, since today is Valentine's Day, this was kind of a no-brainer, obviously, but something we can do today is love somebody. We can just choose in advance to love somebody. Now, most of you know, because you've listened to teaching here and other places before, that God's kind of love, agape, A-G-A-P-E was the Greek word for it, God's supernatural love always does what's best for the other person. The best love that we can gin up on our own, by our own personal effort, is always with our own self-motive, what's in it for us. It's just not nearly as good as God's love, obviously. And we can't produce God's love by our own ability. But God lives in us. Jesus lives in us. And living as us, he can love people like we can't do. He can love hard to love people. He can love people even when we don't want to love them. He can just love. That's what he does. He is love and he loves. So think today, and you might even just pray and say, Jesus, who do you want me to love today? And what would that look like? What would that look like? We know that God's love always does what's best for the other person. Now, in God's case, he knows everything. He's always working everything out for the good. So when he loves us and does what's best for us, it's obviously best for him and everybody else. And of course, he knows that as he loves through us. So God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit living in you, may very well say to you, I want you to love such and such a person by doing this. And you may think, well, I could see how that would help them, but, what's in it for me? Well, that's the point. Real love does what's best for the other person, no matter what's in it for us, or even if there isn't anything in it for us. Now, on Valentine's Day, many of us guys, we'll give gifts, flowers or chocolate or whatever, or we'll take our wife or girlfriend or significant other, out for dinner or to a nice thing. Sometimes because we think that's expected, we kind of have to do it on Valentine's Day. Sometimes we do it for an ulterior motive. In and of ourselves, we just do things like that. But when we listen to God and say, who do you want me to love? And what do you want me to do? Boy, he will tell you what to, he may say, take your wife out to this place because it's really her favorite place, even if you don't like it very much. Go there and listen to what she has to say and focus on her and be interested in what she's saying. Really listen to her and hear what she's saying. Don't just think of what you're going to say next. And try to understand how she's feeling and things like that, without any intent of her ever returning that love or you're getting anything out of that. That's a whole different kind of love. And you know what? I found that when we let Jesus do that in us, it's really good. It's not only good for the other person, man, it's good for us. We know that he's doing something that we wouldn't have done. We know it's really good for the other person. We can see the fruit of that, and it's just good. It's a whole different way of doing life. Well, hope that's helpful. Happy Valentine's Day. See you next time.